Well, welcome back. And in this part of the course, just I have given introduction about the subject we are going to see. And in this part, I am giving introduction to how to make use of this course. The way in which I am saying, see, it's like I am a coacher, I am a trainer. So I am just training you, coaching you based on the knowledge or the experience I gained while learning Sanskrit. And that is how all my courses are. And I know these are all the difficulties faced by the beginners. So how can you avoid that? How can you come over out of that difficulties and get proper skills? That's the idea of all my course. And to make use of the course, the approach should be correct. In English, we have a saying, well begun is half done. There is a saying like that in English. The beginning, if it is done proper, after so much preparation and other thing, then the progress will be fine. The haphazard way we cannot do. And we should have patience. Patience. Without patience, you can't hurry. If you hurry, you cannot get anything. You should have patience. And everything takes its time. So the time you should give. And how much time it takes for you, that much time you should give. My approach is, when I go to the second lesson, I should not have doubt in the first lesson. In this fashion, lesson after lesson, we have to progress. We may have some confusion and we may forget something. That is okay, because we are feeding our brain with more and more information, lesson after lesson. So we may get some confusion and we may forget some of the thing. So every time we get confusion and we forget, we have to go back to that lesson and practice that again. So that repeated practice, that only will make us master. Like a cricket bowler, he is always bowling in a day, 2 hours, 3 hours, like that he is doing bowling practice. Even though he is playing in international matches, every day he is practicing. Why? If he doesn't practice, then in the game he cannot perform well. So repeated practice is essential, patience is essential, to begin well is essential. So keeping those 3 points in mind, I have given here some 3 points. We have to sequentially go through the study note lecture, the first part. So this is part 1 of the course. Like that you can take from the course introduction. If you go sequentially one after other lectures, the videos, the first part is the study notes lecture. There I am presenting the entire subject matter. The first part, as I mentioned, is the study notes. So I am giving the ingredients. As I said there also in some lecture, it's like I am presenting a show on how to cook a dish. So what they do first, they keep all the utensils and the ingredients arranged in the table, and they tell each and every item how much quantity it is required, which is to be chopped, which is to be pasted, which is to be powdered, like that. Then they say the sequence of operation. Then while doing the operation, they talk something, they give some point. And finally they serve the prepared dish. So in this approach, the first part of this course is study note lecture. This study note lecture is to give the entire picture, what is needed to conversant fluently in Sanskrit. You need not get perplexed or confused by all those subject matters. All those subject matters are the ingredients. and one by one we have to master. So after that lecture in the study notes part 1 of this course, which you have to go one after other, you should not think that I know this topic, I will jump to 5th one, because sequentially when I say some matter in progressive order. So if you skip lessons, you skip the points also. Okay? So you have to do sequentially only, number 1. And number 2, under each lecture, there is some exercise given. That exercise is only pertaining to that topic introduced in that lecture, or pertaining to the topics introduced earlier to that lecture, cumulatively. So you have to do that exercise, some simple exercise to understand the concept of the subject. We have to do some exercise and post it in group. I said all exercise are to be posted in group. That Google group which I created exclusively, because that group discussion only will make us stronger. Alone you are studying, you don't know whether you make mistake or not. And if you practice it that way, then correcting the mistake will be very difficult at a later stage. We should not skip or jump to other lecture, even if you know the topics. This point again and again I will be repeating. Then we have to, after completing the study note lecture, part 1, then in my course, the part 2, I will be naming the lecture as part 1, part 2, part 3, like that. So in the part 2, we are having 2 books, Bhasha Pravesha, book 1 and book 2. This is the practice book for all the study material we did in part 1. So there you actually go and do the practice, and whatever exercises are there, they are to be posted in group. These lectures correspond to the study note lecture. So 1 to 1. So sequentially only you have to do. Again you should not jump, you should not skip, you should not jump. And all the exercise under this Pravesha, Bhasha Pravesha book, that all to be posted in a group. So to understand that you understood correctly or you have doubt like that. Then the part 3 of this course. The part 3 is actual analysis of the dialogue. So what is our idea? We want to speak. When we want to speak, each and every word, the meaning, the context, the sense in which it is told, the proper way of making sentence. Without that, without this knowledge, how can we speak? Naturally we cannot. So the first part is giving idea about the minimum subject required. The second part is giving idea about the practices we need to do to understand the discussions of the part 1. And the part 3 is actually analyzing the dialogue, and we will recollect what we studied in part 1 and part 2 in these dialogues. These dialogues will be using the bits and pieces of what we studied. So in each dialogue we will analyze and understand. Again, while giving this dialogue analysis, I will give some exercise and I will ask you to construct your dialogue and post. Like that we have to do. Again, here also we should not skip. As I said, the sequential progress is essential. We cannot study a subject book, first lesson, 4th lesson, 10th lesson, like that we cannot do. Because a subject book is arranged in some order, and the subject information is cumulatively added, so that gradually we improve, the building blocks are added more and more, and we improve our knowledge. As I say, everyone has their own time constraint, but we should not hurry. You can't do something quickly. It's only a desire. Everything takes its own. I used to say to many people, that is called Garbhakalaha. Garbhakala means what? Garbha means carrying. So in English we say gestation period. Gestation period means what? From the day of the embryo development till the day of delivery, there is a time. That time is called gestation period. So we say Garbhakalaha. That gestation period we cannot hurry. Science has not improved to reduce the gestation period of humans from 10 months to 6 months. It has not advanced that. That is nature. We have to wait for that period. We only reduced the number of printouts in a printer, the quickness with which we send mail, the quickness with which we search something, the speed with which we can travel. In so many locations we have made improvement. But you cannot change this. Garbhakala you cannot change. The gestation period is different. The gestation period of a crocodile is different, a human is different, an elephant is different, a rat is different, and this frog is different. So we humans are also individually different. Someone may read once and understand, and he may never forget. Someone may understand and follow, and gradually he may forget if he is not having proper touch up with the topic. So according to you know you better, I always say this to everyone. I don't know you, you know you better. So what is your limitation, what is your commitments, and what is your availability, the dedication you can do, the time you can spend, the efforts you put, all put together will give the result. So do not hurry. And you go slow and steady. No need to rush up through the topic. We have to gradually learn. And whatever we learnt, we should not have doubt. That go steady. In English we have a saying, slow and steady wins the race, like that. And take your time. It is not necessary that you should do it in 2 months or you should do it in 10 days. There is no hurry. There is no, you can do it in 6 months, you do it in 1 year, you do it in 5 years, according to your time, according to your need. And there is no hurry that we all should start speaking Sanskrit as quickly as possible, because practically the knowledge we should gain to speak in Sanskrit is not to have a day-to-day conversation in a hotel, in a restaurant, in a mall, in a railway station, or with friends relation, not for this purpose. The method by which we learn to speak in Sanskrit should be to explain something in Sanskrit. Because it is very easy to explain this Veda, Shastra, Purana, Sutra, Tarka, Darshana, all those Sanskrit lecture. If you listen from some elders, scholars, they are more comfortable to say it in Sanskrit than in English or any other regional language of India or foreign language. Because we cannot 100% translate and convey the meaning. So, if you go through this course in this fashion and do proper exercise and improve, then you can start explaining things in Sanskrit. You can listen to the lectures given by someone in Sanskrit, or you can read a book where the Vyakhya means explanation. Vyakhya means or Bhashyam. Bhashyam, Vyakhya, this means explanation. So in explanation, descriptively in Sanskrit, they might have written the sentences for the shloka. We are not supposed to learn the meaning of shloka, shastra, purana, darshana in other language. The starting should be from other language, because you cannot learn which you don't know from the same language. So you need to take the help of the language you know. Once you understood what is written in that, through the help of your own language, then you have to read a book where The Shloka, Purana, Shastra, they are explained in Sanskrit itself. By that way only we can improve. Simply reading through some language and explaining to others in that understanding, we may convey wrongly or superficially some idea. We may not give proper idea. So that's the objective of this approach towards this course. So by doing this approach, you get maximum out of this course. Okay, I request you not to skip lecture, not to jump lecture, not to avoid exercise, and go through the lectures in sequence. This I want to say. And in part only. You finish first part, then only come to second part. You finish second part, then only come to third part. Okay. Hope you followed my suggestions. I can't advise to anyone. I just suggest. And as a coacher or trainer, as I say, I am just giving this. So if you practice this way, then you will see the result. Well, I will meet you in the lectures of the subject topics. Take care. Bye-bye.